For the third video this week, the task is, in a sense, to put everything inside of a function. This means that different functions have to share some variables, so we're going to be using what is known as global variables, variables that are available everywhere. So the first thing that I want to put inside of a function is getting the user inputs. So I'm going to define a function, get user guess is really what I'm getting. I don't really need any arguments for this. So what I want to do is I want to create a guess which is equal to, and I actually can just copy this from here. So I want to get the user's guess, and I can print it, and this would then be the first guess. And remember that to make sure that this is executed, I'm actually going to have to call this. So get user guess. Now I want to do that transformation, and I'm going to put that transformation into a function as well. So def converts guess. So what I really want to do there is convert it to the appropriate number. And let's say that I need to know when I'm doing the conversion what the guess number will be. So guess number. So I'm going to do the conversion. So I can certainly cut that, paste that, and invert that. Okay. So now I also want to print the guess, and in this case I'm going to print the guess. And I don't want to say that it's guess number 2, I just want to say whatever the argument tells me the guess number is, that is what I am going to use to print the guess. Alright, so I want to do the welcome, I want to get the user guess, and then I want to convert the guess. And let's say I'm going to first pass this with argument number 2. Let's put the comments where they belong. So this here function allows me to get the user guess, and the second function that I created allows me to is the one that converts the guess. So this is now my program, the welcome, the get user guess, and the convert guess. It's becoming a very short program. So remember that these first 4 defs are simply definitions and will never be executed. And then these are the 3 lines of code that the program will run. Alright, so let's save this and run it. And if I'm not wrong, this will give me an error. So I'm going to enter a guess. So let's say I'm entering the guess 7, and I get an error. So I get here the error on the variable guess. And where do I get the error? This is first on line 29 and then on line 22. So on convert guess, I'm getting an error on line 22. Alright, so it says here basically that this local variable guess is referenced before there is an assignment. Well, what does that mean? It's referenced before it gets an assignment. I'm basically saying here I am using the variable guess, but it hasn't been created yet. Why hasn't been created yet? I mean, the guess variable is here, but the variable is there and it's a local variable. What I really want to say is that this variable guess is not just for this function, it should be usable for all functions. So instead of saying that it's local to this function, I want to make this a global guess. And similarly over here, in this function, I don't want to use that guess variable as something that is local, I want to use it as a global variable. So my guess is 5, and now it is happy because I made that variable a global variable. There's one more thing that I would like to do. I generally want to have one function call, and that is it. So I make the actual code as small as possible. So def my main codes, and we usually call this function main. I'm going to put in here so that the only call that I do is to main. And it shouldn't change anything in the program. The program runs as before. I can make some small changes to see that this works. If I change this to a 1, you'll notice that when I run this, and I enter the guess 54, and it does the conversion, it actually says the guess number is 1 because I passed it the argument 1. So now I have converted the code that I created, that I had, and I converted it such that everything is inside of a function, and the only thing outside of a function is the call to main. And that is what we're aiming for throughout the semester.